What's up everyone, it's Austin Rutherford and welcome to my channel where we talk all things business, finance, and real estate. Most real estate investors, the reason they screw up is because they only have one exit strategy. They only have one way of making money, whether that be them learning how to flip houses and just flipping houses, or how to wholesale houses and just wholesaling houses, or how to buy rental properties and just buying rental properties. For me, I've bought, renovated, sold, flipped, new constructed, owned rental properties on hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of houses. So my strategy is I want to make the most profit on every deal. So I have all my tools in my tool belt. I have multiple strategies, not just one. So in this video, I'm going to break down those strategies to you, and I'm going to review a deal live with you to show you my exact thought process and how we evaluated the deal top to bottom and what our strategy is going to be going forward. So to me, wholesaling houses and flipping houses are kind of similar, right? They're both active ways of making money in the very, very near future. Now, wholesaling is a lot faster than that because you can literally wholesale a deal and make money like today, within like the next 7, 10, 15 days. But you're not gonna make max profitability on those deals. Flipping houses, you're gonna make, instead of having an assignment fee of $10,000, a wholesale fee of 10 grand, you may be able to flip this house and make 30, 40, $50,000 in profit, but instead of taking 5, 10, 15 days, it might take you 60, 90, 120, 180 days, which is still a relatively quick process to make money. So if you're starting out and you're brand new to real estate and you're broke, there's two ways you should get started. You should learn how to wholesale houses. You never have to buy a house, you never have to own a house, you never have to take on risk of anything with a house. All you do is to sign contracts and get paid. So you should learn wholesaling, or you should learn flipping using other people's money. That's how I got started in the game. My first house was a flip where I borrowed money to fund the deal, funded it, flipped it, paid my investors off. I made $107,000 net profit on my first deal, reinvested all the money and blew it up from there. So those are two things, one of two things that you need to learn if you're broke trying to start real estate: wholesaling or flipping houses using other people's money. The other strategy is rental properties. So this is how to build long-term generational wealth. So unlike wholesaling and flipping houses where you're making money today or in the very near future, rental properties is a long-term play. You don't make much money today at all, but you make a lot more money into the future. So rental properties, you might only be making $100, $200, $300, $500 a month in profit versus 40 grand for flipping the house. So if you're just now getting started in real estate and you want to build long-term generational wealth through rental properties, that's great. But if you don't have another source of income, you're going to run into some issues because you're not going to have any money to live on. Now, if you have another source of income, maybe you work a W-2, maybe you have another side hustle and you have money to live on, then yeah, great. Build long-term generational wealth, start buying rental properties. But again, if you're like me, when I started, I didn't have money. So I started out flipping houses with other people's money, making money today, and then started buying rental properties over time to build long-term generational wealth because I already had money at that point to live on. So it just depends where you're coming from in life, what your current financial situation is, but it's only up to you which strategy you can use. But what I would highly recommend is having all strategies available to you. For me, when I started, like I said, it was flipping houses with other people's money, stacking cash. Now in my career, I'm trying to buy as many rental properties as possible because I don't need the money today. I'm okay giving up a $10,000, $20,000 assignment fee, $40,000, $50,000 flip to make $300, $400, $500 a month in rental income because I understand the long-term play. And it's not fun giving up $50,000 today. Believe me, like it sucks from time to time, but I understand the long-term game. I already have other income coming in. I want to build long-term generational wealth for me and my family going into the future. So again, it depends where you're at and where you come in life. And you may start one place and end up in an entirely different place. So a wholesaler ended up bringing me a deal. My first offer was based on me wanting to keep it as a rental property. So if we dive into this spreadsheet here, here's how I came up with my numbers. So I think I can rent this property for $2,000 a month. This is the yearly taxes and the yearly insurance. I think the ARV is $260,000. Based on a 75% loan to value, a 4.75% interest rate, and a 25-year amortization schedule. So I'm looking for $700, $679 per month in income, which is a 1.23 debt coverage ratio. So my goal is to be 1.2 or higher. And now this number here, when I refinance with the bank, this is using the BRRRR method: buy, renovate, rent, refinance, and repeat. If you've never heard of this strategy, make sure you check out this video up here so you can learn more about the BRRRR strategy. But bought it, renovated it, rented it. Now I'm refinancing this deal. So the bank gives me $195,000 cash back on the refinance, but I'm all at $190,000 purchase, I'd be all in for $223,000. So I offered $160,000 on this deal, which means I'm all in for less than the cash back would be. Now, when I offered the $160,000, I was informed that they wanted $170,000 for the deal. So $170,000, this is still great cash flow, but on the refinance, I would have to bring about $8,000 in income to the table on the refinance to be able to keep this as a long-term rental property. Now, on the flip side to this, I could have flipped this. On the flip side, I could have flipped this, right? So instead of a rental property, I could flip this house and see if I can make a profit. So same thing, ARVs 260, needs about $26,000 in renovation, and the seller was asking $170. So this is a 14% ROI and a $36,000 in profit. So I look to make 13 to 15% minimum on a deal, and then if you make 20, 30%, it's great, but that's the minimum, and then $36,000 in profit for a $26,000 rehab, I would do this deal 100%. But the issue was that the seller kept asking for more and more money. So now we're at like that's 2 million. The seller wanted $190,000, which means it's only a 5% return and a $15,000 profit. 15 grand in profit, you know, someone just gave you a $15,000 check, like, yeah, that's great. But doing a deal of this size, there's a lot of risk that comes with that, because if you're 5% off on your ARV or your renovation budget, you lose money on this deal. It's not a lot of profit margin in a deal like this. And on the flip side, on the rental property, if I were able to refinance this, I'd have to bring almost $30,000 of my cash to the closing table to be able to keep this as a rental property. And the goal is to do real estate without any of your own money. So I'm not going to do this as a rental property either. I might try and find a hedge fund to buy this property, because they're paying way more money than any of us can pay, because they have way more money behind them and backing them than anybody else does. So I might try and find a hedge fund that might want to pay $200, $210, $220, $220,000 for this deal, make a little bit of money, 10, 20, 30 grand, and move on to the next deal. So for me and my business right now, my first exit strategy was rental property. So I made an offer based on my ideal scenario, and then they said no. And then I came up a little bit, and then they said no. And they kept going higher and higher and higher. And I can no longer do a rental property for that, because my goal with rental properties is to not use any of my own money. So then I went to the flip strategy, which is second for me, because I'm able to raise private money to fund these deals, to do these deals without any of my own money. I looked at the flip, still didn't make sense. It was still significantly overpriced. My last option is to wholesale this deal, hopefully to somebody, potentially a hedge fund, that's willing to pay more money for the deal than I could pay for it in the first place. So we're going to see if we can find a buyer for this. Comment below, let me know if you think I'm going to be able to make money on this deal, or if the numbers simply won't work out. You got to understand, 80-90% of deals you look at will not work. So if you look at 10 deals, none of them make sense, it's okay, move on to the next. One of these deals will end up working eventually. So if you got any questions, drop it in the comment section below. Make sure you smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, hit that subscribe and notification bell so you can get all this content going forward. Also follow me on my socials, my Instagram and my TikTok as well. I drop a bunch of game over there too. And as always, I appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.